Perhaps since the beginning of time, human beings have pursued ways that could change their physical aesthetics. It should come as no surprise that plastic surgery may have been around for quite some time. There is documentation of the use of plastic surgery dating back to more than 4,000 years ago, and we will show you all the data in this video. The oldest known procedures appear in an ancient Egyptian medical text called the Edwin Smith Papyrus, thought to be an early trauma surgery textbook and named after the American Egyptologist. The treatise contains detailed case studies for a variety of injuries and diagnoses, as well as showing how the Egyptians treated wounds and bone fractures. The papyrus revealed a suggested fix for nasal injuries, manipulating the nose into the desired position using wooden splints, lint, swabs, and linen plugs to hold it in place. By the 6th century BC, physicians in India were carrying out procedures not dissimilar to a modern-day cosmetic rhinoplasty. In a detailed compendium called SUSHRUTA SAMHITA, the Indian physician SUSHRUTA, who is sometimes called the father of plastic surgery, outlined a remarkably advanced technique for skin grafts. As in Egypt, the procedure involved repairing noses, but according to historians, patients' motives were cosmetic. In the ancient world, patients were usually seeking to replace something rather than enhance their aesthetic appeal, and given the pain and risks involved, going under the knife was reserved for those most in need, considering that wine was the anesthetic. For centuries, the works of SUSHRUTA were considered the best by the whole world, and many Western physicians traveled to India to see rhinoplasties being performed by Indian methods. Karpu, an English surgeon, spent 20 years in India, was able to perform the first major surgery in the Western world in the year of 1815. The first American plastic surgeon was John Peter Mettauer, who, in 1827, performed the first cleft palate operation with instruments that he designed himself. Along with many other inventions, plastic surgery's progress was accelerated thanks to war. During World War I, the sheer volume of patients with facial injuries allowed doctors to experiment with new techniques. The father of modern plastic surgery is generally considered to have been Sir Harold Gillies, a New Zealand otolaryngologist working in London. He developed many of the techniques of modern facial surgery in caring for soldiers suffering from disfiguring facial injuries during the First World War. In the 1930s, first attempts at sex reassignment surgery were seen, but cosmetic procedures were frowned upon by parts of the medical establishment. Surgeons were performing nose jobs and boob jobs more discreetly around this time, as plastic surgeons yearned to be recognized as serious surgeons and avoided what were considered frivolous procedures. The post-World War II period saw drastic changes for the field. Improved technology, diminished risk, and increased disposable income all contributed to plastic surgery's growing popularity. By the 1960s, in the US especially, many of today's most common cosmetic procedures, such as breast augmentation, rhinoplasty, and face reshaping, were becoming more commonplace. Innovation was still driven by the needs of trauma patients and disfigurations, but the technology could be used to vainer ends. By the 1990s, plastic surgeries in America grew tenfold, and cosmetic procedures outnumbered reconstructive ones. By 2005, the number of cosmetic surgery procedures performed in the US was almost double that of reconstructive procedures, fueled by celebrity endorsements and aesthetics pushed on by the culture. 15.6 million cosmetic procedures were carried out in the US last year. New technology continues to drive the sector's growth, with 85% of these procedures considered minimally invasive, such as Botox and fillers. Tastes continue to change too, and while the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the entire industry, reporting a 15% drop in cosmetic procedures carried out in the US in 2022, compared to the previous year, some procedures suffered far larger falls. The number of breast augmentations was down 33%, and buttock lifts were down 27%. Thanks for watching another evolution video. Let us know in the comments what you would like us to make next. As always, have a peaceful life.